The year of bad Bullpens MLBs pitching model is broken. Relief pitching has reached a tipping point. For half a century, ever since the mound was lowered in 1969, relief pitchers posted a lower ERA than starting pitchers. That no longer is, as managers go to bullpens earlier and earlier, and as the use of openers grows, workload is catching up to bullpens. Relievers have a higher ERA, 4.50 than starters, 4.44 for the first time since 1969. Only 3 years ago, bullpen ERA this year is the second worst in the past 69 years. Only 2000 was worse and the 8th worst of all time. And it's getting worse. How managers run a modern game is based on the premise that a phalanx of power-armed relievers is a better option than a starter facing a lineup for a third time. And so every year, now managers honestly, most teams' analytics department tells a manager how to deploy his pitchers better rethink that premise. Look at it this way, said Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman. If you bring 4 last week, in a 2-2 game, Atlanta manager Brian Snitker let Max Fried pitch through the 6th inning, even though he gave up 3 singles that inning and finished with 101 pitches. Even if he walked his last batter he was staying in, Snitker said. You need to learn. I think what you're seeing now around baseball is that a lot of elite relief arms are wearing out. Over the past 2 winters, teams spent at least $8.5 million each on 26 veteran free agent relievers. At least 19. What you have to understand is just how unusual it is to see relief pitchers faring worse than starters and how quickly we have arrived at this strange place. Here is the ERA dip. Here are some of the factors involved in this bullpen collapse. 1. Acceptance of open. The Race quirky experiment is now thought to be a smart way to get through a game when you don't have a starter you trust. 2 years ago, the opener concept works, but the more built-in abbreviated starts a team uses, the more trouble you're in when one of your traditional starters simply doesn't have it, and that game also becomes a bullpen game. There is a compound. 2. More pitching change. Games last season in which a manager used at least 5 relievers spiked 28% from the previous season. That rate is down. 3. More home runs. The rate of home runs this year is the root cause of most every trend in baseball these days. Relief pitchers, highest slugging percentage allowed by relievers. The second worst slugging allowed by relievers is happening right now, worse than even the steroid era. Relievers are on. One twist to this bullpen attrition is that we are seeing more offense late in the games. ERA from innings. The Nationals this year have the worst 8th inning ERA of all time, 7.70. This year's Tigers, the Orioles have the second worst 9th inning ERA of all time, 7.71. The Rockies are 6th. This season may well be remembered as the year of the home run. But this also is the related slideshow best images of the MLB season provided by Iman.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.